All right, cool. All right, guys. So my name is Kathy Reuter, and welcome to learning all about what coaching is and whether or not coaching is something that would be a good fit for you or not. First, I just want to start out by saying that honestly, this this whole entire business can enhance your life in so many positive ways. So many different people from different walks of life and different reasons for joining decide to become a part of this. And regardless of what those reasons are or where they're coming from, they all love being a part of such a positive community that is all centered around working on your health and fitness, right? So leading by example, you're always focusing on you first, taking care of your health and your fitness first, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So we focus on that. We focus on really trying to become a better version of ourselves as the days go by, even though it's not perfect. So we focus on a lot of um, personal development. So we listen, we read a lot of different things to help with our mindset. We listen to a lot of things to help us grow as a person. And so if you're someone who's looking for some kind of positive change in their life and you're willing to work on improving yourself, then this business would be an awesome fit for you. Because like I said, at the foundation of everything, there's nothing more important than your own health. And that's what we focus on. And that's the whole entire purpose of this business is us showing up every day, working on our health and fitness, and then sharing our journey on social media, which automatically inspires other people to want to work on themselves as well. Like that is our job, is to put ourselves first and to share what we're doing so that way we can be that source of inspiration and hope for other people who may feel stuck or who might not be living the most healthiest, fulfilled life that they have. And people will look to you as their source of inspiration. You don't need to be at your health and fitness goal to begin. When I started, I was almost 40 pounds overweight, but it was relatable and I was relatable to people. And honestly, some of the most successful coaches who come into this business, at least on our team, are the ones who are at the beginning of their health and fitness journey because they are just real people. And people don't want to see perfection. They want to see a real person who's got flaws, who has a chaotic life going on, through all the ups and downs, but they're still showing up, putting themselves first. So that is your job as a coach. So if you're someone who is willing to work on yourself and you're willing to share what you're doing and you're willing to invite others to get healthy and fit with you, that's literally the whole entire business in a nutshell. That's what we do day in and day out. It doesn't matter if you're day one as a coach or if you are 7 years in like myself. And everybody has different goals with this when they come into it. Some people, and I'm going to share my story in a second, you don't have to have the same story as me to have success in this business. People come into this for so many different reasons. People come in sometimes because they just want to be a part of a positive community, right? Like they feel like garbage about themselves. They've put themselves on the back burner for too long. And they're like, it's time for me to make a change. This is a great way to do it. I can be a part of this positive community where we focus on our health and fitness the right way. I'm talking no quick fixes, guys, no pills, no patches, no teas, none of that other garbage that you might see wraps. It's all about teaching you how to put the right foods into your body, the right food groups into your body, when to eat your food, moving your body and exercising every single day, and drinking a superfood shake. So I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind as you're listening. So that's one of the reasons why people come into this. Sometimes people come into this because they really are not happy with their job. They're doing a job that they feel that they're stuck in, that they're going to have to do forever, and they don't feel fulfilled. And they're looking for something that's just going to make them happy, something that they can do for themselves. And so they build this business on the side while they work their full-time job. And as a matter of fact, most people who come into this business are already working full-time jobs, and they build this during the cracks of their day when they can fit it in. And that's another thing that's so awesome about coaching, is that it's no one size fits all, right? You can build this into whatever you want it to be, whenever you want it to be, spending as much or as little time as you want on it. And that's one of the first things that we do when we talk with you and work with you is we find out exactly what your schedule looks like. And we find out, oh, when can you plug this in? Like just as you get up and you make your health and fitness a priority every day for 30 minutes, can you find 30 minutes that you can work your business every day? Or can you find an hour? And even if that means breaking it up into smaller chunks. So it's different for everybody. Some people come in because, they're just like, I want to go all in with this thing. I want to end up making this my full-time income over time. I want to, build a business that's a multiple six-figure business over time. And like I said, they don't just quit their jobs and go into this. They're building this while they're working their other jobs as busy women. All right. And just like anything else in life, it's just consistency over time. This isn't about you sitting down, spending tons and tons and tons of time on this every single day until you burn out. It's just about, can you show up like whatever works for you? Can you show up every day and do those things that can move the needle in your business forward? And so the opportunities, guys, with this, I mean, it is literally mind-blowing how much this can change your life. Like when I look back to the 7 years ago when I first started, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I got started now, but when I look back to 7 years ago, and then I see how this has positively changed my life, it is mind-blowing, like straight up mind-blowing. I was a teacher for 10 years. I had my master's degree in special education before I had kids and before I got into this. And for me personally, I always knew I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And that's not for everybody. I totally get it. But that was my whole thing that I wanted to do. And we got ourselves into a situation where we had depleted our entire savings account. We had racked up $35,000 worth of credit card debt. We were sinking by $1,000 every single month. And I had a 4-month-old and a 22-month-old at home at the time. And my husband said, you're going to have to go back to your teaching career. There's no way around this, basically. He was working his full-time job. He was running other businesses on the side. I was tutoring pretty much almost every single night of the week. So we were doing what we could to get just money to come in. And it was not working out for us. And I do believe, and I have always said this, and I just feel like so at peace when I think this way, but I do believe that everything happens the way it's meant to happen for you. Even at the moment or in that moment where you feel like your world may be crashing around you, I feel like things happen for you for a reason, and there's always opportunities and things come into your life at just the right time. And it was that weekend. I mean, I was feeling so discouraged and I was so let down and upset hearing that I was going to have to leave my kids and put them in daycare and go back to teach. I mean, I honestly didn't know what else I could do, right? I was already tutoring. I went to school for teaching. What else could I do? And it was that weekend that I went out to Boston at the time when I used to live there. And I went out on a double date with my really good friend from high school, and his girlfriend was a coach. And I started to kind of vent to her and tell her about how upset I was that I was going to have to leave the kids and go back to teach. And I was talking about how I'm so out of shape too, and how I don't feel good about myself, and I'm never going to be able to get my body back to what it looked like before. And I just was feeling like so down. And she was like, Kathy, you should become a coach, right? And she was describing it to me, and she just made it sound so positive. It's exactly what it is. She's like, oh my gosh, you should do what I do. You should just become a coach. And I'm like, what the heck is a coach? And she's like, well, it's awesome. You basically work on your own health and fitness journey from your home. So, you'll get a program, you'll work on your health and fitness. She's like, you'll do it at home whenever you can. So you don't have to leave your kids. You don't have to join the gym, and you can earn an income on top of it. So it's kind of like kill two birds with one stone. So this could be the thing that keeps you home with your kids. And I was like, I'm in, because I'm the kind of person where it's like, when there's a problem, I am solution oriented. I want the solution to it, and I want to act on it ASAP. And I loved how she made it sound, how you're a part of a team. And I've always loved being a part of teams. I was on the basketball team when I was younger. I ran track and field. I did cross country. I was a swimmer. And I always loved that team feeling, right? Where everybody helps each other. So I was all in, and I was like, this is going to be the thing. Well, meanwhile, my husband had no idea that I was having this conversation the entire time, because he was talking to her boyfriend. So I get in the car ride home and I'm so excited because I'm like, thank God I finally found the thing. And I laid it on the line to my husband and he was like, Kathy, seriously? Now he has his MBA in entrepreneurship. He's run multiple businesses before, and he did not believe that this was a real business. Just straight up, he didn't believe it. He said I was going to be wasting my time. He said that this was a pyramid scheme. He said that there's no way that you could make money with this. He just thought the whole thing was absolutely ridiculous. So I went from feeling so good to feeling like so defeated, because kind of there was a piece in me that was like, well, really, what do I know, right? I was just a first grade school teacher. He's the one that runs businesses. Maybe he's right. But I also deep down too, like, knew that I would be good at this. Like, you ever have that feeling with something like you're nervous to do it, but you just know deep down that I know I could be good at this. And I was seeing other coaches in the business at that time have success. And I was watching their stories from the sidelines before I even signed up. And I always had the attitude with, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. And that's the same kind of mindset that I want you to have too. If there's ever somebody having success in whatever area of their life, that is a fact that you can have success too. So I always had that positive outlook on just this working out. And so we sat down and we had an agreement, and he basically was like, well, fine, you can go ahead and try this. You have 2 months to prove that this is a real thing and that you can actually earn money, or we can't afford it. Like, you're going to have to go back to your job. So when I first started, my goal, guys, just teach me how to earn a couple $100 a month. That was it. I didn't have any big goals. I was stressed out because I never used social media at the time. I actually didn't even have an Instagram account. So I never used social media. And so I had that in the back of my head that, oh my gosh, now I'm going to be building this business on social media. I have no idea. I was the scroller. I would sit around at night and just scroll, watch what everybody else was doing. Wouldn't even like it. I would just basically just watch what everyone was doing, but I never posted, very rarely. I was almost 40 pounds overweight. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be building a health and fitness business, but I don't even look like a health and fitness anything. Who am I going to inspire? You know, I have no money to do it. Might as well just swipe my credit card, right? What's another $140 at the time, right? And I was just like, and I don't have really any time to do this, but I'm going to have to find a way to make time, because if I want my situation to change, then I have to be willing to do something different here. I have to be willing to make some kind of temporary sacrifices. And now I have a skeptic husband on top of it all. So if you listed it all out, it looked like I had everything going against me. And I could have very well have just thrown in the towel and been like, you know what? Boom, 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 boom. All these things against me. Forget it. This is going to be stupid. It's going to be a waste of my time. But I kept that positive attitude and always had that attitude like, I'm going to figure it out. And other people are doing it. And this is for my kids. And if I'm not going to fight to make this happen, then I'm going to live with a lot of regret. So I signed up 7 years ago on June 26. It was 2014. God, that seems like so long ago. And no big goals. I made the decision that I was going to be home during the day with the kids, paying attention to them. I was going to do my workout when they napped, which never really worked out the way that you think it's going to work out, right? My 30-minute workout sometimes took 50 minutes, but I still got it done. And I shared the ups and downs of my journey. And I decided that instead of sitting down at night and watching Netflix for like 3 or 4 hours with my husband, that I was going to have to give that up. And I was going to have to spend my time building my business, because that was the only time for me that I could find it to work. And so I came in, and what I realized very, very quickly was that I couldn't believe, honestly, how awesome the programs and the nutrition and the Shakeology was. I honestly went in pretty skeptical that I was going to actually get into the best shape of my life, because I had already fallen into the status quo that once you have kids, you can never really get that body back, right? I knew that the programs worked because I had done the original P90X like 12 years ago now. And we, at the time, me and my husband got into the best shape of our lives back then. So I had the belief in the programs. I knew that they were awesome. But when I came into this again for the second time, I was like, I mean, I don't know if I'm really going to get these awesome results. Like, everybody else is getting. I had 2 kids, I had a C-section, and then I had another baby. It was like, oh my gosh. But what I found is that I was getting results, and I was getting results quickly because I was following the nutrition plan that was given to me, which was amazing. I wasn't depriving myself. I wasn't cutting out carbs. I was eating all the right food groups, and it was given to me exactly how much of each food group I needed to eat. And I was drinking my shake every single day for my breakfast because that was what worked for me. And it was easy. And I was pressing play and following the program. And I became so addicted to how awesome I was feeling. And when I would sit down to work, my business at night, I really was getting that belief very quickly that every mother needed to do this program because this was the thing that was going to change their life. I really, really had that confidence behind it because I was seeing it work for me. And so I became like obsessed with this. I loved the fact that I could be with my kids during the day, but at nighttime I had something that was for me because it can get kind of lonely being like the stay-at-home mom, you know what I mean, if that's all you do. So I loved knowing that I had something that was for me. And I still, again, didn't have any big goals or anything like that. I just became really, really, really passionate about working on myself and then helping other women and talking to other moms that were in the same situation with me every single day. And what started to happen was I started getting all these positive messages, and it still happens to this day. It's one of the most rewarding things about being a coach, guys, is that you will get these messages from people and these text messages and these emails with people thanking you for changing their life. And thank you so much for sharing your journey when you were going through those tough times and you still showed up and you were my source of inspiration. And, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here in this place right now. And I started to really be like, oh my gosh, like I have a ton of purpose right here. I'm really changing people's lives right now. And I loved that, knowing that I could go to bed at night, knowing that I made a difference. And I collected all of those messages that I got over time. And I still have it, a huge Microsoft Word document with every single message from somebody. And on days where I just kind of might feel like, a little down, I will look at all those messages and know that what I do really matters. And how many jobs can you think about, right? That you can actually say that what you do makes a difference. How many jobs can you think of right now where they tell you that it's your priority to put your health and fitness first, right? Like, how awesome is that, right? How can you think of any other job where they say your job is to get up and put good nutrition into your body and to move your body and to share something positive on social media to help inspire other people and to invite other people who are struggling to do this with you, right? No job. I can't think of any other job. We are literally in the best job in the world. It is awesome. And so I just became obsessed with this. And I just, it's like they say, if you love what you do, you feel like you never, work a day in your life. That's what happened to me. I slowly started seeing myself stay up later and later every single night. I didn't want to go to bed. Like I actually, even though I was exhausted at the end of the day, right, being with the kids, once I started working, I got like a second wind and I never wanted to go to bed. I had to drag myself into bed because I was like, oh my gosh, the kids are going to be waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I better get to bed, right? But I started to just see these positive changes happening in my life. I was doing personal development. I was starting to think differently, right? I was starting to really boost my confidence up. I was feeling better. I was happier. I was looking better. My clothes were fitting me better. I was more happier, a little bit more perkier. Like people could see these changes. And when people are seeing you make positive changes in your life, like they'll automatically come to you anyways and be like, what are you doing? You look amazing. Or you look so happy. Like I need some of that. That's what happens to you when you commit to the program. That's the first thing that we teach you to do when you become a coach is let's get you squared up and settled. Let's find the program that's going to get you to reach your goals. Let's figure out what nutrition plan you're going to follow. And let's just get you working on you and moving in the right direction and getting results. And so my husband very quickly became on board with this because your income that you earn is always a direct reflection between the amount of lives that you help. So if you help a lot of people, you earn a lot of income. If you don't, if you become a coach and you don't do anything and you don't ever help anybody get started on their health and fitness journey, then you earn nothing, right? So he started to see, oh my gosh, like she's actually doing this. He started to see the messages come in. He started to see my paychecks come in. And so very quickly he was like, okay, well, I guess this could be something. And then that's when I kind of started to dream a little bit bigger, and I started to say, well, forget this $200 a month thing, right? I see other people, they're doing this as their full-time job. And so I was like, let's try to see if I can match my teacher salary, right? That would be kind of cool. When I had stopped teaching, I was earning $70,000 a year, which, at the time, that was a lot of money. And it was a lot of money for our family to all of a sudden not be earning. And by 7 months in of me coaching, of me showing up every day, putting in the work at night, right? Staying up late, helping other people. It was just me helping as much as I could. By month 7, I was earning what I was earning as a teacher. And then I just kept going. Like I said, it never really felt like I was working. I really, really, really loved it. By 11 months in, we were earning 6 figures. And by that summer, that was like 15 months in, I think right around there, we were able to pay off all that credit card debt that I had mentioned at the beginning of this, and just were able to, for once in our life, be able to start to create a savings account, which was like all new to us. And it has just been like, when I think back to the 7 years, it's been such a whirlwind. I mean, most importantly, it's kept me home with my kids. And it's made me really realize that, you only have this one life on earth, right? And you really deserve to live it to its fullest and to do something that makes you really happy, instead of doing something that really just sucks the life out of you, that, you're just doing it for the paycheck. Like, right? Like, I mean, I know a lot of people that they're in these jobs, right? And they absolutely hate them, and they're miserable, and they're stressed out. And they do the job to get the paycheck to pay for the house that they're not even in, because then they go to work all day long and they can't even enjoy it. And it's just like, there are other ways where you can do something that really, really fulfills you and makes you feel happy. And that's what coaching was for me, and is for everybody on our team, whether you're earning a couple $100 or you're earning a lot more than that, right? And probably the most important thing to me was, as time went on, we were able to sell our home in Massachusetts, and we moved down to Florida to our dream home, just like 10 minutes from the beach, which I never thought would happen. We were able to get a mountain home in North Carolina, in the mountains there, to spend a lot of the year there too. And the most important thing really to me that made me really, really have so much gratitude to coaching was when I was pregnant with baby number 3, and I was 34 weeks pregnant. I had gone through a year of like 4 miscarriages back to back. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my dad got diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. And I don't know if you know anything about that, but there are no signs leading up to that. It's like, all of a sudden you go in and you get blood work done, and they're like, I think you have leukemia. And that's what happened. And my parents, the house that we bought, I specifically bought this house because it has like a detached kind of like in-law thing. They were both retired. So I wanted them to be able to spend as much time down here with us as they could. That was part of my reasons in this business, was to be able to give back to them as I built this. And so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like, well, dad has leukemia. He's going to have to be going up to Mass General now, and he's going to have to start chemo immediately. And it's going to be a long process, and he's going to have to get a stem cell transplant and all this stuff. And honestly, because of this business, like, I always share these bigger vision things, because I never came into this with big visions like this at all whatsoever. But I just like to always share it, because you just never really know how something can drastically change your life and really what you're capable of, unless you actually try. And I will be forever grateful to coaching, because if it weren't for coaching, we wouldn't have been able to just leave our house here in Florida. And then we went up to Massachusetts. I like put my old pregnant self in the car with the 2 other kids and threw the dog in the back. And we drove all the way up to Massachusetts. We rented a house there for like 10 or 11 months. I was able to be with my dad while he went through all of his chemo and all of his treatments. I delivered my 3rd baby up there, and he's, thank God, in remission now and is doing great. But I wouldn't have been there for any of that if it weren't for coaching. Life would look so different if it weren't for me just saying yes. And I always tell people that, this isn't for everybody, all right? I'll never sit here and lie and say, oh yeah, it's for everybody. But I will say, I think it's crazy for people not to even try, because if you had asked me or my husband 7 years ago about this, we would have been like, yeah, okay, I don't think so. And you never know unless you actually try. You never really know how something can change your life. And if I had listened to my husband, and if I had listened to all the little negative thoughts that I had in my mind about why this wouldn't work for me, that would have been the biggest mistake at the time that we would have made, and I wouldn't have even known it. That's the thing. Sometimes just that one simple decision to try, you don't realize how it can change your life. But I can promise you right now that no matter what, saying yes to this will change your life in some kind of positive way. 100% hands down, right? Especially if you're a parent, okay? It's so important that we lead by example and that we take care of ourselves. For me personally, when I work out in the morning, it's not to get like a six pack. It's so that I can like take care of my mind, so that I can be in a better mental state, and so I can be, as healthy as I can possibly be to try to live as long as I can and control what I can control. And I know that no matter what's going on in life and how stressful it is, I can control me getting up and pressing play every day. I can control me having an awesome superfood shake in the morning. I can control me having a nice healthy salad for lunch. These are things that I can control, because there are a lot of things that we can't control. And when you take care of yourself, you can be a better mom, you can be a better friend. You will just spread positivity to everybody that you come in contact with, because you're taking care of yourself. That's why we always say, oh, it's like free therapy, right? It like makes you feel so good when you move your body and get those endorphins out. So I just wanted to share with you guys that this is the best time in the 7 years that I've been coaching in literally Beachbody history to get involved in this business, no matter what your goals are. Maybe you don't even know what they are. It is the absolute most opportune time right now, because we are a public traded company now, which is huge. We have a Mix bike, which is very similar to Peloton, but half the price. That's going to be coming in a couple of months. We hired like one of the top Peloton trainers to now work for us. So she's going to be doing these live classes. We're going to be having live Beachbody on Demand, that's what it's called, classes, and people will be able to purchase day passes to try it out, or they can get a package or whatever they want. I mean, we have anything and everything now for everybody, no matter what somebody's goals are. So if you were ever thinking about joining this business, now is the time to get on board, because the wind is at our backs, and it's really, really, really exciting, especially someone like me who's been in this now, and I've seen it, the ups and the downs of business over the past 7 years. I mean, we are in an incredibly exciting time right now. So I just wanted to kind of end with how you'd get started. And if you have any questions too, feel free to just kind of comment in the chat and I can answer them as I go. But basically, like I said, don't overthink this. This is not like we're asking for your kidney, right? We're just saying, hey, listen, let's work on our health and fitness together. Let's spread our positivity and share what we're doing, and let's help other people get healthy and fit with us. That's our job. And so when you decide to do this, like when this call is over, just reach out to the person who invited you to this. I'm ready to take care of myself, and I'm ready to pay it forward and do something positive. I'm ready to do this. And when you do that, what we'll do is we'll set up a call right away. And we always start with not the business stuff, right? We always start with, well, what are your personal health and fitness goals? How much time do you want to dedicate every day to working out? How much time do you have? We talk about the nutrition. We talk about the different programs. We talk about the superfood shake, Shakeology, and when would be a good time for you to drink it. There's all these little pieces that go with it, but we start with you and what your personal health and fitness goals are first, because that's your goal when you first become a coach, is to focus on yourself and get awesome goals over the first 30 days. Like, get some really great results, because when you do that, you have so much belief and people are going to be watching you. And when they see a real person getting results, doing it the right way, people want to be a part of that. So we start with that. Then once we have that piece nailed down, then we start to talk about the business goals. Then we start to say, all right, how much time do you think you have each day that you could dedicate to this business, right? Monday through Friday, whatever works for you. How much income do you want to earn in 3 months? What do you want to be earning at the end of the year? How about 1 year from now, right? And everybody comes in for different reasons. Some people are like, you know what? I just want to sign up a couple people a month so that I can always get my Shakeology for free. Fine. That's one path. Other people come in and they're like, nope, teach me how to build a multiple six-figure income like you have. That's a different path. So there's no one same path, if that makes any kind of sense. It's very, very personal to what you and your specific goals are. But we put the plan in place for you. You don't have to do any of the thinking, but we put the plan in place and then you just have to follow it. All right. And then basically that's it. Your success is all up to you once you decide to do this. We always say in these calls that it's kind of like if you decide to become an Uber driver, but then you don't drive anywhere, right? You don't do any of the drives. Are you going to get a paycheck? No, you're not going to get a paycheck. Same thing with this. This is a real, legitimate business, just like any other business, and it will reward you in ways that a real business does if you treat it like a real business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to reward you more like in ways of a hobby. And it's really whatever you want, right? That's the awesome thing about it. So we are so excited for you guys to be a part of the team. There are so many cool things. We have the trips coming back into play now that COVID is kind of, I guess, somewhat settling down. There's opportunities, guys, to be able to go on all these amazing trips and take vacations. I remember before I started to become a coach, we couldn't afford to go on vacations. We had never really gone anywhere except to my parents' place in South Carolina. And that's just because it was free, right? But when I became a coach and I started to help a lot of people reach their goals, I started to earn these free trips. I'm talking like 5-star resorts in California, in Mexico, and Punta Cana, cruises. I was able to take my husband. I was able to take my parents with us just for doing my job, which was take care of your health and fitness journey and help other people get results with their health and fitness, right? That's all it is. That is really, really all it is. And so many people need us, guys, in the world right now with the obesity rates going up galore, the negativity everywhere. We don't get to see any of that negativity, luckily, because we're in this awesome, positive community where, yeah, sure, we have a lot of struggles and we have a lot of hard times going on, but we always are solution oriented and we always try to put a positive spin on things. And it's really, really nice in this crazy world to be surrounded by people like that. So just ask yourself, I want you to think not of all the things that could go wrong, but I want you to think about all the things that could go right. Really think about that right now. If you said yes, just like I said yes 7 years ago, just like your coach said yes, how could your life be better because of this opportunity if it worked out for you? Imagine how it could change for the better. And I can tell you right now, if you try, just like we tell our kids, you'll just try it out, right? See if it's for you. If you try and you worked on yourself and you helped other people for an entire year, you would be in a completely different position. You'd never, ever want to stop because you would just know how much of a difference that you're making and how much people need you in your life. And that makes me feel so good knowing that. So I don't know if any of you guys have any questions before I let you go. We are here to help you every single step of the way. You don't need to figure this out on your own. It's your own business, which is great, but you're not in this on your own. We have trainings for everything. We have calls to help you get started right. As you start to build your business, we have more calls that we do. I mean, we have everything in place. We couldn't make it any easier for someone to come onto this team and have success right now. So one life, guys, one life. We got to take care of ourselves first and foremost. We've got to take care of ourselves. We've got to stop putting ourselves on the back burner. You can't pour from an empty cup, and we need to try to help other people see that they should be doing the same thing too. And it's just one person at a time, but it starts with you. It starts with you making the decision right now that, all right, it's time for me. It's time to put myself first. It's time to help other people along the way. And that's when you start to see that positive spin start to go in your life. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you being here and taking the time out of your Thursday night to listen and learn all about coaching. We'll never twist your arms, guys. We understand that some people come into this and then they're like, oh, this isn't really for me. And that's okay. If you decide to do this and the business isn't for you, no big deal, right? We're not going to force you to stay. We want you to be a part of something that you really love too. And we hope that you find that one day. But even if the business didn't work out for you, you still at least will always have our positive community to help you out. You'll still have all the workout programs at your fingertips, the nutrition to help you. So that way, no matter what, even put the business aside, you will have all the tools that you need to put your health and fitness first and foremost. So thanks for being here, guys. And we look so forward to welcoming you onto our team. And I will be seeing you soon. All right, bye, guys.